Good morning, grade 9s. Today we are looking at part 3, our last installment for Act 3, Scene 2, and we're also covering Act 3, Scene 3, which is very short. So, when we ended last, Lysander was trying to assure Helena that Hermia would not hurt her, and we begin now with Demetrius saying, "No, sir, she shall not, though you take her part." So he's saying, no, Hermia is not going to hurt Helena, even though you're actually supporting Hermia. And Helena says, "Oh, when she is angry, she is keen and shrewd. So she's sharp-tongued and she's bitchy, she's mean. She was a vixen when we went to school." So a vixen is a female fox. They're thought to be very fierce, especially when protecting their young, their cubs. "And though she be but little, she is fierce." So reference again to her being short. And Hermia says, "Little again? Nothing but low and little? Why will you suffer her to flat me thus? So why are you letting her insult me like this? Let me come to her, so let me get at her. Let me fight her." And Lysander says, "Get you gone, you dwarf, you minimus, so you tiny thing, of hindering knotgrass made." Now, knotgrass was quite a common weed in Europe. Its juice was thought to stunt human growth. And he says, "You bead, you acorn." So he's really laying it on thick here, insulting Hermia in just about every way he can think of on being short. And Demetrius says, "You are too officious in her behalf that scorns your services, your attention. So you're doing way too much. You're trying too hard to help Helena, who wants nothing to do with you. Let her alone, so leave her alone. Speak not of Helena." So don't speak for Helena, don't speak on her behalf, don't speak to her. "Take not her part," so don't take her side. "For if thou dost intend never so little show of love to her," so if you give any sign of courting her, of wanting to date her, of trying to woo her, "thou shalt abye it, you will regret it." So he's threatening Lysander now. And Lysander says, "Now she holds me not." So she, Hermia, she's let me go. She has nothing to do with me. "Now follow, if thou darest, to try whose right of thine or mine is most in Helena." So now follow me to this duel to decide who has the right to Helena and who has the right to pursue her, the right to her heart and her hand. And Demetrius says, "Follow. Nay, I'll go with thee, cheek by bowel, so side by side." Sorry, cheek by jowl. Jowl being obviously cheek, the inner side of your cheek, so side by side. And then both Lysander and Demetrius exit the scene to go and duel. And Hermia says, addressing Helena, "You mistress, all this quarrel is long of you, so all of this trouble is caused by you. Nay, go not back, so don't run away now." And Helena says, "I will not trust you, so I don't trust you, nor longer stay in your cursed company. So I don't want to stand anywhere near you. I don't want to stay near you, stay talking to you. Your hands than mine are quicker for a fray, so you're more ready than me to start a fight." She thinks she's going to fight with her, scratch her, attack her. "My legs are longer, though, to run away." So here bringing in this notion of Helena being much taller than Hermia, and she says, "Well, the joke's on you because my legs are longer, so I'm going to run away. You won't be able to catch up with me." And she exits the scene. Hermia says, "I'm amazed," and know not what to say. So she's actually quite gobsmacked that A, Helena said that to her, and B, how everything is just playing out. And then she leaves the scene. And Oberon makes himself known and says, "This is thy negligence." So he's talking to Puck, to Robin Goodfellow, and he says, still thou mistakest, or else committest thy knaveries wilfully." So you keep making mistakes, or else you are making these mischievous tricks, playing these mischievous tricks on purpose. And Oberon here is quite angry. He's not sure whether Robin is messing up on purpose or just because he's very careless. So he's actually attacking him. He's quite upset that things haven't worked the way he had planned, because he wanted to help Helena. And Puck says, "Believe me, King of Shadows," so King of the spirits, the sprites, the fairies. I mistook, I made a mistake. Did not you tell me I should know the man by the Athenian garments he had on? And so far blameless proves my enterprise. So what shows I've carried out my instructions? You can see I have put the potion on someone wearing Athenian clothing. That I have anointed an Athenian's eyes, so I've put this love juice on his eyes. And so far, am I glad it so did sort? So I'm delighted that it turned out to be this way. As they're jangling, they're quarrelling, I esteem, I value as sport, so quite a lot of fun. And we see in these lines here that Robin is unrepentant. He considers all of this human quarrelling to be a joke, to be entertaining. And he doesn't regret what he's done at all. Oberon says, thou seest these lovers seek a place to fight. So you can see that they want to fight now, they want to duel Lysander and Demetrius. And he gives Puck, Robin Goodfellow, gives him instructions and says, high, go, therefore, Robin, overcast the night. The starry welkin cover thou anon, so welkin the sky, the starry sky cover thou without delay, so quickly go and make it dark. With drooping fog, with low-lying fog, as black as Acheron. Now in Greek mythology, the only way into Hades, which was the afterlife, the underworld, was through the river of Acheron, and family members had to place a coin in the mouth of their lost loved one to pay the ferryman Charon to take the body across the river. Otherwise, the person would spend eternity lost and wailing on the wrong side of Acheron. So this is the imagery he's using. He wants Puck to make it very dark and full of fog, and lead these testy, these bad-tempered rivals, enemies, so astray as one come not within another's way, so that they don't meet each other. Like to, imitating Lysander, sometime frame thy tongue, so make your voice sound like his, like Lysander's. Then stir Demetrius, provoke him with insults, up with bitter wrong, and sometime rail thou, speak angrily with Demetrius, and from each other look thou, make sure you, lead them thus, till o'er their brows, over their eyes, death counterfeiting, so death resembling sleep, the idea of sleep copying death, with leaded legs, this heaviness of sleep, and batty wings, this darkness, bat-like wings, doth creep. So he wants Puck to lead these two men astray. He wants Puck to pretend to be Lysander and make Demetrius very angry so that he follows him and leads him away from the real Lysander. And then he also wants to pretend to be Demetrius and make Lysander angry and lead him away from the real Demetrius, so that they will be so exhausted they fall asleep, and then they can remedy the situation. Whose liquor, whose juice hath this virtuous property, this potent ability, to take from thence all error with his might, with its power. So Oberon here is talking about that other potion that he has to undo the magic spell of this love potion. And that's the one he referred to in the first act. And make his eyeballs roll with wonted sight, so give eyes their old ability to see correctly, so taking this spell away. When they next wake, all this derision, this absurd delusions, shall seem a dream and fruitless vision, a meaningless vision. And back to Athens shall the lovers wend, so they will go back to Athens, with league in partnerships, whose date, whose conclusion till death shall never end. Whiles I in this affair do thee employ, I'll to my queen and beg her Indian boy. So while this is all going down and you're fixing this for me, I'm going to go and seek out Titania and ask her for this Indian child once more. And then I will her charmed eye release, so her bewitched eye. I'll take away the spell that she's under from monster's view, and all things shall be peace. So he's going to take away her love connection with Bottom, the half donkey man, and everything will be back to normal. And Puck says, my fairy lord, this must be done with haste, For night's swift dragons cut the clouds full fast, and yonder shines Aurora's harbinger. So he's saying this has to be done really quickly. There's this new note of urgency in Puck's voice. He's saying night swift dragons. Now, in ancient Greek mythology, the chariot of night was thought to have been pulled by dragons. So the person, night would be brought and spread as this person in this chariot drawn by dragons was spreading night, and then dawn would come from Aurora. So Aurora is the Latin word for dawn, and in mythology Aurora was a beautiful young goddess who was set out before the sun itself to announce the arrival of the world. So as night was passing out, Aurora was moving in, and he says that basically it's almost dawn, that the night is ending. At whose approach, Aurora's approach, ghosts wandering here and there troop home to churchyards. Now this comes from the idea that it was believed ghosts were free to leave their graves, their wormy beds, between midnight and dawn. And he speaks here about damned spirits, all that in crossways and floods have burial, already to their wormy beds have gone. For fear lest day should look their shames upon, expose them, they wilfully themselves exile from light, from salvation, and must for forever consort with the black borrowed night. And this also came from the belief that anyone who committed suicide was damned, that they would not have salvation. So he's talking here about damned spirits, people who have committed suicide, some of them by drowning themselves in this great flood that they had, and the idea that they have not been buried on holy ground. So anyone who had committed suicide would not have been buried in the churchyard. They were usually actually buried at a crossroads, and they were thought to have forever wandered in this darkness. So talking about the black borrowed night and not having access to the light to salvation. So Oberon says, but we are spirits of another sort. I with the morning's love have oft made sport, so I in harmony with the new day made have often had fun, and like a forester the groves may tread, even till the rising sun will fiery red, opening on Neptune, on the ocean. Neptune was the god of the sea, the ocean, with fair blessed beams, turns into yellow gold his salt green streams. So he's saying, but we're different kinds of spirits, we're not ghosts, and I've often worked in harmony with the new day, and I can even wander around doing my good deeds until the sun is rising, and rising over the ocean, turning the greenness of the ocean, the salty ocean, yellow as it's reflecting the rising sun. But notwithstanding, haste, make no delay. So nevertheless, you're right, hurry. We may effect this business yet ere day, so we can complete what we need to do before dawn comes. And then Oberon exits the scene, and Puck says, up and down, I will lead them up and down. So he's talking about Lysander and Demetrius. I'm feared in field and town, goblin, lead them up and down. Here comes one, and here we have Lysander. So in this whole section here, Lysander and Demetrius would be depicted as wandering on stage in the dark, but they're almost in separate scenes, so for now we would only be seeing Lysander wandering around in the dark on stage. And Lysander says, where art thou, proud Demetrius? Speak thou now. So Lysander is looking for Demetrius, but he can't see him because of this fog. And Puck says, imitating Demetrius, here, villain, drawn and ready, so with sword drawn. Where art thou? So where are you? And Lysander says, I will be with thee straight, so I will be with thee without delay. And Puck, pretending to be Demetrius, says, follow me then, to plainer, to more open ground. And then Demetrius enters the scene, and Demetrius says, Lysander, speak again. Thou runaway, thou coward, art thou fled? So have you run away already? You're such a coward. Speak. In some bush where dost thou hide thy head? So are you hiding away in the bushes? Are you that afraid? Now Puck is imitating Lysander here and says, Thou coward, art thou bragging to the stars, telling the bushes that thou lookest for war? So are you telling everyone around you, the bushes in the sky, the only people to see you, that you're looking for a fight? And wilt not come? So you're asking for a fight, but you're not actually going to show up to one? Come, recreant, come, coward, come, thou child. So he's calling him child, immature, scared. I'll whip thee with a rod, so I'm going to punish you. He is defiled, disgraces himself, that bothers to draw a sword on thee. So he's basically saying that Demetrius is not worth a fight. And Demetrius says, Ye, art thou there? So are you over there? And Puck says, Follow my voice. We'll try no manhood here, so follow me. We can't have a real test of manhood without space to fight properly. So he's leading him out into the open in a different direction. And then he exits. And here we see Lysander re-entering. So Lysander's already been led away. Obviously, Puck is very quick. He can move very quickly, and he's already led Lysander astray. And he's at the moment busy leading Demetrius off. Now this is the start of Act 3, Scene 3. The last scene in Act 3. And Lysander says, He goes before, he goes ahead of me, and still dares me on, dares me to follow him. When I call where he calls, then he is gone. The villain is much lighter heeled than I, so he's a lot quicker. I followed fast, but faster he did fly. So I really tried my best, but he's too quick for me. And then he shifts around. Says, That fallen am I, so that I'm stranded in dark uneven way, and here will rest me. Come, thou gentle day. So he's really exhausted, he's tired, he can't see where Puck is gone, so where he believes Demetrius has run ahead. And until the day comes, he can't really do much. So he's urging the day to come, and he lies down to sleep. He says, For if but once thou show me thy grey light, I'll find Demetrius and revenge this spite, this outrage. So as soon as the sun starts to peep in the sky, and the first light of morning comes, I'll find Demetrius, and then take all my outrage on him, settle this debt between him and I. And then he falls asleep. Now we're re-entering the scene here with Puck and Demetrius, so we're supposed to be where Puck has led Demetrius off into a different part of the forest, and he says, Ho, 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 coward, why comest thou not? So trying to pretend to be Lysander, edging Demetrius on. And Demetrius says, Abide me, wait for me, if thou darest, for well I wot, I know, thou runnest before me. So even though I know you're really quick, shifting every place, thou and dares not stand nor look me in the face, so you dare not to turn around and fight me. Where art thou now? So Demetrius is getting quite irritated with him. And Puck continues to taunt him, saying, Come hither, I am here. Demetrius says, Nay, then thou mockst me. So as soon as I come there, you're not there anymore. Thou shalt buy this dear, so you will pay dearly for this. If ever I thy face by daylight see, so as soon as daylight comes, now go thy way. Faintness constraineth me. So faintness, he's feeling very tired, he's feeling dizzy, forces me to measure out my length on this cold bed, so to lie down. By day's approach, look to be visited. So as soon as dawn comes, you can rest assured that I'm going to find you and fight you. And then Demetrius lies down and sleeps. Now Helena enters the scene. She's now run away from Hermia, and she's trying to find her way back to Athens. She wants nothing more to do with this quarrel between everyone. She says, O weary night, O long and tedious night, abate, shorten thy hours. Shine comfort, shine sunrise from the east, that I may back to Athens by daylight. From these that my poor company detest. So sunrise come, so that I can get back to Athens, see where I'm going, and get away from these people that hate me. And sleep, that sometimes shuts up sorrow's eyes, steal me a while from mine own company. And she's begging for sleep, for the oblivion of sleep. She's had enough of everything, of the fighting. She's even had enough of her own poor company, and she just wants to forget everything, to sleep and to get some peace, even if it's only for a while. So she lies down and sleeps as well. And Puck says, "Yet but three, so only three. Come one more. Two of both kinds makes up four. Here she comes, cursed, so grumbling and sad. Cupid is a knavish lad," so he's saying love is mischievous, makes a lot of trouble, thus to make poor females mad. So love causes a lot of trouble for women. He's quite sneaky. And then Hermia enters the scene. So when we ended last, Lysander was trying to assure Helena that Hermia would not hurt her. And we begin now with Demetrius saying, "No, sir, she shall not, though you take her part." So he's saying, no, Hermia is not going to hurt Helena, even though you're actually supporting Hermia. And Helena says, "Oh, when she is angry, she is keen and shrewd. So she's sharp-tongued and she's bitchy, she's mean. She was a vixen when we went to school." So a vixen is a female fox. They're thought to be very fierce, especially when protecting their young, their cubs. "And though she be but little, she is fierce." So reference again to her being short. And Hermia says, "Little again? Nothing but low and little? Why will you suffer her to flout me thus? So why are you letting her insult me like this? Let me come to her, so let me get at her. Let me fight her." And Lysander says, "Get you in the sight of thy former lady's eyes." So he will once again be in love with Hermia, who is his true love. And the country proverb known, that every man should take his own. In your waking shall be shown, Jack shall have Jill, naught shall go ill, so nothing will go wrong. The man shall have his mare again. So it's another version of a country proverb about partners or lovers finding each other, and that all shall be well. And this is where Act 3 ends. So he exits the scene after he's done his reversal of the spell on Lysander. Please make sure that you understand this thoroughly so that you can answer the questions in our next period on the whole of Act 3. Have a lovely day.